Have you ever looked at a video game recipe and thought, that's easy, I could easily make that? Well, that's exactly what crossed my mind when I came across the school uniform vignette of Jade Leech in the game Twisted Wonderland. For those of you who are unaware, the story goes that Jade is trying to brew some tea leaves but is having trouble. Whilst pondering, Kalim, a friendly character, comes along and offers to help. The method and the amount of ingredients used turns out to be rather excessive, with the final tea being somewhat undrinkable. From Jade's own words, the tea is sweet enough to saturate one's teeth. So, I decided to make it. The tea isn't bad, I promise, but it turned out exactly how I expected. Super sweet and, well, undrinkable. As someone who drinks tea bitter with 1 tea bag and 1 spoon of tea per pot, I wouldn't exactly recommend this to anyone, as it seems like a complete waste of ingredients. Also, as you will soon see, I kinda ruined the kitchen floor and the kitchen bench with the tea stains. But if you're still watching, it means that you're either curious as to how badly I messed up, or you like to make it yourself. Masochists, all of you. But I guess it takes one to know one. So, let's go through what you'll need. 1 kettle boiler, 200 grams of black leaf tea, a box of chamomile herbal tea, a separate pot, at least 1.5 liters of water, and a kg of white sugar. I know that this seems like a bunch of unrealistic proportions, but this is me trying to follow Yana Tobosso's writing to be as close as possible to what's happened in the vignette. It's kind of funny if you think about it, because Kalim is brown and his creator is Japanese, but the amount of sugar used in this, it makes me think of some whack white people recipes that's been passed down for generations. But then again, Kalim is a spoiled rich kid, so the whole in excess does make quite a bit of sense. It's a good way to get rid of a lot of tea that's going to go past the best before date soon, which is what I'm doing here with my black tea. I mean, it's probably one of these dumb things you probably shouldn't try, but I'm going to do it anyway, because I'm a responsible adult. Alright, let's start by boiling the water with the tea leaves inside the kettle. However, be careful. If your boiler turns out to be too small, you essentially could have the water flow out of the boiler, as I did, and leave the kitchen in a less than desirable state. Oh jeez, I'm so glad that I did this when my mom wasn't home. Once the tea has boiled, get your other pot. Put a good amount of herbs, I've used chamomile in this case, inside the pot. In the vignette story, Kalim used enough such that 70% of the pot was filled. I unfortunately did not have enough, so I've only used about 30%. You want to pour the black tea over the herbs and heat the pot to a boil over the stove top, so that the chamomile flavor can get into the tea. I've used about 200 grams of black tea and somewhere around 15 to 20 bags of chamomile. Considering how I usually drink black tea with about 10 grams of tea per day, which I can usually use to last 2 to 3 pots, or 1 bag per pot, or per 2 pots, and I don't drink tea daily, I've essentially used about 3 to 4 months of resources in this 1 pot. Come on, absorb the richness of the herbs! I really don't know anymore. I've consumed the same amount of tea today as I would have in a year. And I drink a lot of tea, so that's saying a lot. Not exactly a year's worth, but still quite a bit. We have here a pot of the most potent teas that I will ever drink or brew. Right, so the tea is now boiled. A very potent brew. And now for the final step, which will probably ruin my taste buds and ruin my teeth. Sugar. And now, we add sugar. Pour the entire 1 kg of sugar into the pot and slowly mix. Okay, so this is a cup or 250 grams of sugar. It's double what Kalim used in his vignette with jade, which is around 30 cubes, which is about 120 grams if each sugar cube is 4 grams. Alright, let's give it a little taste test. You know, it's not sweet enough. Yes, you heard me. All the sugar. Pour all of it in. And yes. I've added another 3 cups into the tea because it's black tea. It's probably going to be bitter. In terms of flavor, you can taste the black tea, you can taste the chamomile herbs, and it's sweet as well. The bitterness is also there, so it's both sweet and bitter. And I don't know, as someone who generally doesn't like sweet things, sweet teas, this is actually not amiss. Oh, maybe for my kitchen, but and my supplies, but it's not bad. In fact, I say I prefer this over the boba tea that I buy. This is not too bad. Alright, let's take another sip. Oh, okay, never mind. This is still way too sweet. So, there you have it. Scouting Sands Tea by Kalim. Make sure not to drink too much of it before bedtime or when trying to lose weight. Oh dang, maybe I should have thought of that before making and drinking it. I have work tomorrow morning. Or I guess we could just lose the sugar, but then there's still caffeine inside it. Oh dear, I made so much of this as well. I have here, I think that maybe it's 1 liter, 1.5 liters. I know that the bottle has got half of 500 mils in there. I've got 1.5 liters of black tea with 4 cups of sugar and chamomile herbs in it. Yeah. How am I gonna finish all this? Well, there you have it. Kalim's Scouting Sands Black Tea. See you in the next one. If I ever recover from this.